Hello students, welcome to the online classes of DIDT. Today we are going to learn something different. Yes, the art of representing three-dimensional objects on a two-dimensional surface. You can say the image or impact of a three-dimensional object on a paper. In the representation, like right impression of their heights, widths, lengths, depths, at the same time their position in relation with each other. This phenomena, or you can say this process, is called as perspectives. So we are going to learn something about perspective views. Now, basically, perspective views are of three types: 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective, and 3-point perspective. Yes, the first two words in the sentences, 1-point, 2-point, or 3 points, specifically tells about how the view is going to be created. 1-point perspective. In this, there is a point at which all the lines in the drawing, or you can say in the presentation, are going to merge out. So the first topic which comes about our learning is 1-point perspective. Now, in this 1-point perspective, you can see this image. In this image, you can see there's a basic gully in which there are some vehicles parked. There might be some people moving. There are buildings on the left and the right of the road. Now the heights of the buildings are merging towards, the top point is merging towards one single point. Yes, the one single point out here. You can see this one single point. The road ends are also moving towards the same point. The position of the windows are also moving towards the same point. The balcony lines, for everything you can see are merging towards the same point. This happens in 1-point perspective. In such a drawing, now this is one more example of 1-point perspective. In this, you can see the ends of the roads. They are merging towards the single point, which is at the horizon line, or you can say the horizontal line, which is shown on this picture in red color. This is the horizon line on which my eye level is placed. Now, when I think about this 1-point perspective, the ends of the roads are moving towards the same point. You can see the height lines of the trees. They are also merging towards the same point. Now, in 1-point perspective, you will see all the vertical lines basically are vertical. All the vertical lines of the buildings or anything, they are vertical. All the horizontal lines in the plan, all the horizontal lines in the plan will seem to be horizontal, and all the vertical lines in the plan will seem to be merging towards this one point, which is at the center of the building or on the of the drawing, or you can say depending upon the position of the station point. Now, the interesting topic of this learning is station point. What do you mean by station point? Station point is nothing but the point from where I view this object, from where I stand and I view. Like a photographer taking a photograph, the position of the camera is important. The position of the camera is nothing but the station point. At the same time, the height of the camera from which the photograph is taken is the eye level. These are the factors which are going to affect 1-point, 2-point, and even 3-point. If the camera is placed on the ground or just a few inches from the ground, it will be a worm's eye view. When it is placed at a normal eye level, which is something around 1.5 to 1.6 meters, it is called as a normal eye view. But when it is placed above some object from which I can see the top of the object, it is called as a bird's eye view. Now, the basic is the height and the position of my standing. If I'm standing just in front of a parallel wall, I can say the object or the view which is going to be created will be 1-point perspective. But if I keep two different walls at some particular angle of my eye level, something in this way, I'm going to see the two different walls from my position, and that created image will be a 2-point perspective. So basically 1-point perspective is a point where a single point at which all my lines are going to merge. Now the next topic which comes into focus is 2-point perspective. Now when I think about 2-point perspective, I can see this image. Now this is an image in which my walls are not parallel at all. In the plan also, they are at some particular inclination, either front or some back, at some different angles. But basically when I keep my location of my camera, I place at least one wall which is at some inclination, with my ground level. So depending upon this, the second criteria was my eye level. It was at a normal eye level, which is something around here. At my eye level, I can see all the points are merging, or you can say they are vanishing towards one point on the left and one point towards the right. So these are called as vanishing points. The place where I stand is called my station point. This is one more view of a normal building, which is in 2-point perspective. One of these lines is moving towards my x-axis, one of them is moving towards my y-axis. At the same time, vertical line is vertical, which you easily can see, and the horizontal lines are tapering towards x-axis or y-axis. Now, this was the case in my 2-point perspective. So in 1-point perspective and 2-point perspective, vertical lines are vertical. Now the third criteria which comes into picture is 3-point perspective. Yes, 3-point. Now there are 3 different points at which my lines are going to merge, or you can say they are going to vanish. Now one vanishing point was on my eye level, second vanishing point is at my eye level, the third vanishing point might be above or might be below depending upon my eye level now. Because if I'm seeing a building from the top of from the top, it is a skyscraper. In that condition, I might see that the building has a view in this way. I can see the rectangular top in the top, and the bottom goes on vanishing. As the at the apex end point, it is going to touch almost to each other, but the walls are always parallel. Now in the same way, if I'm standing on the ground and now I view a building in this way, I can see that the walls are tapering towards the sky at some particular point. You can see at this apex point, they are going to meet. Now this apex point is the third vanishing point. You can see one of the vanishing points here, and you can see one of the vanishing points here also. So these are the 3 vanishing points which are created on the drawing, and in which in this way I can represent a 3-dimensional object on my paper, which is a 2-dimensional surface. This is also the process of making a 3-dimensional object on my paper, in which I can see this as one of my points, vision points, vanishing points, my second vanishing point and my third vanishing point. All these vanishing points are in the image. My second, you can say my first and my second vanishing points are on my eye level line, and my third point at the apex is an imaginary point which is calculated depending upon my length and my width. So this is all about perspectives. The details about drafting and presentation of perspectives will be taught in the very next lecture. Thank you.